Good morning. How's everybody doing? Yeah, it's the last day of January. Isn't that amazing? Yay! I know, yay! Here we go. Wow, it's kind of crazy. So just a reminder, in case you forgot, next week we're going to start with the back-to-back classes. So some of you signed up for the early one. That starts at 8:30. And then the one after that starts at 9:45. So I think Carrie has asked that the 8:30 people, when you're done, if you drove, to kind of skedaddle. So the 9, unless you're hanging out for coffee and all of that good stuff. But yeah, so that the 9:45 people can have a chance to park. Yeah, and leave the chair. Yes, and leave the chairs in place. Thank you. That's really good. I think we're like so conditioned. I wouldn't have even thought of that. And you all are so good at, like, when we're done class, you put your chair away. So 8:30 people, you're off the hook. You just come in, you do your thing. 9:45 people, you still got to put the chairs away. So good. So can everybody check, make sure their cell phones are off and their watches are silenced and all that good stuff? I love your sweatshirt, John. All right, and John's going to ring us in. Yep, we're ready. All right, here we go. And away we go, right? And away we go. All right, so come right up to the front edge of your chair and have your feet underneath your knees. And let's just kind of set the feet a little bit. So check out your heels. Like, go to the outside edges and the inside edges of your heels, and then more to the back and to the front a little bit of your heels. And then do the same thing for the outer edges of your feet. So like right along that little toe side. Like, can you press out? You notice when you press out into the little toe side of your foot, that the big toe side of your foot lifts a little bit off the floor. And then when you press more into the big toe side of the foot, so into that great toe knuckle here, when you press into that, the little toe side of the foot comes up a little bit. So you're just kind of exploring, like, what's happening in your feet. And then see if you can get your toes, like awareness of your toes. So let's start with kind of the bottom of the toes. So start with the big toe. Can you feel the bottom of the big toe on the floor? And if you've got a toe that's crossed over, it might be a little bit hard to feel that. And then see if you can feel the little toe, your last toe. Feel that on the floor. And then sort of all those middle toes, right? And you can just kind of press down a little and relax, and press down and relax. Sometimes that just kind of wakes things up a little bit. Okay, so now that we've sort of felt all the different parts of the foot on the floor, just sort of press down a little bit. Not like you're going to stand up, not like a really strong press, but just a little press down. You can feel a little activation of your leg muscles. And then come up with your awareness into your sitting bones, right? So this is your foundation on the floor is with the feet. The foundation on the chair is on the sitting bone. So once again, just sort of exploring. Right sitting bone, left sitting bone. Is there more weight in one or the other? Am I more forward in my sitting bones? Am I more backward in my sitting bones? Just sort of explore where that is. And don't lose the connection of your feet to the floor as well. So now we've got the feet pressing down, and I'm going to ask you to press down a little bit into your sitting bones. And when you do, kind of firm up your belly a little bit. You don't have to suck in your gut, but just sort of firm up the belly a little bit. And then notice if your breath has become very shallow, kind of doing all these little check-ins here. Relax your shoulders down. Close your eyes or drop your gaze and tune into your breath. So we've got our foundation set in the feet, in the sitting bones. The shoulders are relaxed. And we can feel the breath moving in and out. And as you're breathing in and out, notice if the air is moving evenly between the left nostril and right nostril, or if it's a little more, if you're breathing a little more freely through one side. That's often the case. We'll have the one side that's dominant, And about every 2 to 4 hours, that changes throughout the day. And start to deepen your breath. And as you deepen your breath, imagine, now this isn't actually what's happening, but just imagine that you're able to send the breath all the way down to your sitting bones. So when you breathe in as if you were filling your body all the way to your sitting bones. And when you breathe out, you're breathing out as if the breath is leaving from the sitting bones all the way up. And then let's see if we can lengthen the breath a little bit more. And now as you breathe in and fill down to the sitting bones, see if you can also drive that inhalation down into the soles of your feet. So it's going to take a little longer for that air, and this is an imagination piece, so we're just imagining that the air is going all the way down to the feet. And then as you exhale, same thing, it's leaving from the feet all the way up. So you're breathing in a way that fills your body from your nostrils to your toes. And you're breathing out in a way that empties your body from your toes to your nostrils. And this should take a good amount of time. So you're breathing in all the way from your nostrils to your toes. And you're breathing out from your toes to your nostrils. And the next time you take a breath in, I'm going to ask you to hold your breath. And you're going to hold it until you feel like you really need to exhale. Not that first sort of desire to exhale, but till you really feel like you need to. And when you exhale, you can release the control of your breathing. You can relax your feet, relax your sitting bone areas, relax your attention to those spots, and just breathe naturally. Let's take one more deep breath, let it out with a sigh, let your eyes open. Good, and then let's just roll the shoulders a couple times. So just give the shoulders a little bit of a roll here. Good. And then let's bring the shoulders right up to the ears. Bring them way, way up. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, drop your shoulders down. So we're going to roll again a couple times. And then bring the shoulders right up to the ears. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, drop the shoulders down. And one more time, just rolling a couple times. And then bring the shoulders up to the ears. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Take a deep breath in. Let it out, and drop the shoulders down. Great. So let's turn the head to the right and to the left. So it's a little bit of a no movement with the head. Notice how much range you have in your neck this morning. So we're turning just the head, not the whole body, right? So we're just turning the head and just noticing. So when I look to the right, I'm going to hold here for a moment. I'm just going to look behind me a little bit. Notice what I can see. And then turning and looking to the left, same thing. We're just going to look to the left, look behind you, notice what you can see. And then come back to center. We're going to do a little yes movement, so lifting and lowering the chin. And as you lift and lower the chin, see if you can focus on keeping the back of your neck long. So when your chin comes down, you want it to go down and in toward your collarbones a little bit, right? So it's like you're dropping the chin, but you're pulling it back a little. And then as your chin goes up, we're going to try and keep the back of the neck lifted. So you're not just kind of collapsing into the back of the neck. You're actually lifting through the whole neck and the whole head. And you're breathing in, breathing out. Doesn't matter when you inhale and exhale, as long as it's smooth, even, consistent. And then the next time your head is coming through center, we're going to hold here. Lengthen up through the crown of your head like you had a little string there and you were getting a little bit taller. And then we're going to bring the ears to the shoulders, one at a time, just slowly back and forth. Don't go too quickly. This can make you feel a little bit dizzy or a little bit kind of unbalanced. So just go to one side and the other. Notice as you bring one ear to the shoulder, if you can pull that ear a little closer to the shoulder for a moment and just kind of pause there, you'll feel a stretch on the opposite side of the neck or down into the shoulder. And for most of us, there's going to be one side that feels a little tighter than the other. So like for me, when I tilt my head here to the right, my left neck and shoulder feel much tighter than when I go to the left with my head. You can really feel that difference there too. So the next time you have your right ear on your right shoulder, we're going to hang out there for a little bit. And with that ear on the shoulder, we're going to take the left arm, just kind of let it dangle down by your side. Just let it relax. Keep pulling your right ear closer to your right shoulder and take your right hand and just kind of gently push down on the left shoulder and then release. And push down and release. And breathe. So we're just trying to keep the ear going toward the shoulder and we're just doing these little compressions. So it's just this little compression on the shoulder. We're pushing down and then we're releasing. And pushing down and releasing. And keep breathing. Good. And then release your right hand, bring it back to your lap, bring your left back to your lap, bring your head back to center. Pause here for a moment. And just notice if the left side feels a little longer, if your shoulder feels like it's a little lower. And then we'll drop the left ear to the left shoulder. We're going to hang out here and dangle the right arm. So the right arm is just kind of hanging out by your side. Your left ear is close to your left shoulder, as close as it's able to go. And then we're going to take the left hand now, place it on the right shoulder, and same thing, just these little compressions. Just push down or pull down and release, and pull down and release. And you can be out closer to the end of your shoulder, or you can be up closer to your neck. You could try both, right? Just to see, oh, what feels like it's giving me the most benefit here. So depending on where you're holding your tension, what that tension pattern feels like, it might feel better to have your hand out by the end of your shoulder, it might feel better to have your hand near your neck. And again, we're just pulsing, we're just pressing down and then releasing, and pressing down and then releasing. And one more time, just press down and release. And then hands come back to your lap and really slowly bring your head back up to center. Take another moment, just notice what the sides of your neck feel like. So take your hands now, we're going to bring the pads of the fingers, so not the tips of the fingers, but the pads. Going to bring them right up to where your neck comes out of your shoulders, and we're just going to make some circles up there. So you're just kind of circling around with your finger pads, right? So we're starting in a little slow. So notice, does anybody else have golf balls up there? I do. Yowza. This can be pretty tight. And then circle the other way. Good. And then if it feels okay with your hands, if your hands are doing okay this morning, you can give a little squeeze up there, right? And if using two hands isn't good, you can always just do one at a time. Just go across your body and do one, and then do the other. Sometimes that feels a little better. I'm going to do it the one hand at a time. That feels like the right thing for me this morning. The other way is, of course, to just have both, and that's fine too. So we're just giving a little squeeze and a little release. Nothing like a shoulder massage to get the day off on the right foot. Okay. And then relax that. Let's roll the shoulders a couple more times. Okay. And we're going to do a little bit more to stretch the front of the neck here and the throat and down into the chest a little bit. So if you can, I know it's winter and people have like big things way up here, but if you can, get your hand on your skin right below your collarbones. If you can't, just do the best you can with what you've got. So you're just going to put one hand there, and then you can put the other one on top of it. And we're just going to really gently pull down. So you should feel a little bit of you should feel the skin and the tissue there pulling down a little bit, right? Okay. And then just kind of relax that. So we're going to combine this now with a lift for the chin. So we're going to lift the chin up, and we're going to pull, with the hands, we're pulling this tissue down. So I'm going to pull the tissue down and lift the chin up, and then come back. That's it. So we lift and press, and then release and come back, right? So you don't keep your hand constantly pulling that tissue down. You let go, like between each nod up and down. Okay. And one more time. Great. So we've got the hands still here. And now instead of going straight up with the chin, we're going to go up and to the right and down. And then let's go up to the left. So it's you're sort of turning your head a little bit to the side and lifting. And you might have to adjust your hands so that you can feel the tissue. I'm going to bring I'm going to bring my hands apart and do it this way so I can feel the tissue stretching. And one more time on each side. And you want to stay a little below your collarbones. You don't want to be up on your neck because you got blood vessels and nerves up there that we don't want to make them angry. And then come back. Okay. So we're going to do that same movement, but this time we're going to do the chin jut. Some of you remember that, right? The lovey, right? So we take the chin, we press it forward, and we lift up and come back down. So take your chin, push it forward, and back down. It's the Thurston Howell from Gilligan's Island, right? Pressing forward. You'll feel way more of a stretch in through this platysma muscle in here. So going up and down. It's a good way to firm your neck. And how about one more time going straight up and down. Good. And then we're going to do the one to the right and to the left. Same thing. So we're just going to make sure we're kind of anchored that tissue there, and we're going to go up to the right. It's hard to talk like this. And then up to the left and down. Up to the right. I have new respect for, what was his name? Jim Backus? Was that his name? Yeah. Good. A couple more. I don't know about you, but I can feel it in my ears. Wow. How about one more on each side? Good. And then release that. Let your hands come to your lap. Close your eyes and tune into your breath. As you're breathing in and out, just notice what your neck feels like, what your shoulders feel like, what the front of your neck, your throat, and down into your upper chest, what that all feels like. Take in a breath, let it out with a sigh, and let your eyes open. Now that we've warmed up this neck here, we've done a lot of work with the hands, so let's give the hands a little bit of love. So we're just going to squeeze and release the fingers. Maybe they're feeling good this morning. Maybe they're not feeling so good this morning. Notice which ones are feeling good. Let's focus on the ones that are feeling good, right? So which ones are feeling good this morning? Or maybe there's just one, right? Maybe you're 1 out of 10. Okay. So we're going to do a little, what's that?
When it's cold, you should do it.
When it's cold, you should do this. Yes, for sure, for sure. We're going to do the starfish hands, right? So the fingers, the last finger and the thumb are far away, and we're stretching the fingers as best you can. Relax your shoulders. And then we're going to go into that bear claw and then into a fist. So it's just a starfish, a bear claw, and a fist. And we're just going to cycle through that, breathing in and breathing out. This is a nice way to get all those little joints warmed up, to get the tendons warmed, right? Get them going a little bit here. Because your fingers don't have muscles, but they have tendons, and all the finger movement is controlled by the muscles in your palms and in your forearms, in your hands and in your forearms, rather, sorry. Okay, couple more. Great. All right, and then shake that out a little bit. Let's take the wrists, and we're going to circle the wrists. And notice what that feels like. So we got the wrists kind of going around and around. Excellent. And circle the other way. All right, and then we're going to stretch the wrists. So take your fingers, your right hand, the fingers, we're going to pull back on them, and we're going to straighten that forearm, bring it down toward your knee, your hand down toward your knee, and then bend. So your fingers are facing up toward the ceiling, and we're straightening and then bending, right? So make sure you got all the fingers there. So if that baby is escaping, reach over and grab him. Make sure he's in there, right? And the next time you straighten, we're going to hold here. So we're pulling back with the left hand. We're pulling back on all the fingers so you can feel a stretch into the hand, into the wrist, up into the forearm, and maybe even above the elbow. So with the wrist bend, with the elbow straight, you're going to feel that. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to take the right hand, pull back on the left fingers, right? So your palm is facing me, and you're pulling back on your fingers this way, and we're just straightening and bending, right? And you don't have to give a big bend, right? So you're keeping your hand below your shoulder. I think reaching it toward the foot is a good way to make sure you're not doing this, right? We don't want to do that. We want to have the shoulders really relaxed here. And you're breathing in and breathing out smooth and easy. And the next time your elbow is extended, you're going to hold here and keep breathing and keep pulling back. And again, feeling the stretch, and notice if it's different on this side than it is on the other side, right? So one arm does the carrying and one arm does the fine motor work, right? So it's usually the dominant arm that does the fine motor work, and it's the non-dominant arm that does all the carrying. So, you load your bundles all on that one side and then release that. Let's shake these out a little bit, and then we're going to stretch the back of the hand. So you get your fingers facing down toward the floor. Again, your hand, wrist is lower than your shoulder, and we're going to start with the elbow straightened and then give it a little bit of a bend. You feel that shift, and then straighten, a little bit of a bend, couple more, just kind of straightening and then a little bit of a bend. Good. Excellent. Let's shake that one out. Let's go the other side. So left arm extended, right hand, and you're pressing not on your fingers, by the way, but you're pressing on the back of the hand, right? So the metacarpal bones here. So we're pushing back. And we've got the elbow straight, but the shoulder's not up here. So drop the shoulder down. Give that elbow a little bit of a bend, and then straighten. A little bit of a bend and straighten. And as you're bending and straightening, that's a good time to shift your breath. So breathe in, breathe out. All right? Good. Okay, and then release that and kind of shake out your hands a little bit here. All right, let's work on the elbows a bit. So we've got the hands and wrists. We're going to work on those elbows. So extend your arms down by your sides. Excuse me. And then we're going to do like the starfish fingers, right? So when you're down here, I want you to really do the starfish fingers and see if you can bend your hands back. So if you can't see what I mean, bending the hands back like that without doing this with the arms. We got the arms down by the sides, starfish fingers, right? So nice and wide. And then we're bending back, but keep your palms facing forward, right? So you're not turning your hands. You're keeping the palms facing forward. So we're just going to do that a few times. Breathe in, breathe out. So this can be as intense or not as you wish. right? So the more you the more you engage the muscles of the hand and the arms, when you're kind of stretching back, the more you're going to feel that. If that's a little too much, just go a little lighter this morning. Okay. And then you're going to relax your hands, relax your wrists, and now we're just going to tap the shoulders. So this is just for the elbows, bending and extending, right? So the elbows are a less mobile joint than, the elbow is a less mobile joint than the shoulder, and it's a less mobile joint than the wrist. Coincidentally, your knee is a less mobile joint than your hip, and it's a less mobile joint than your ankle. So the structure is kind of the same in a lot of ways. Okay, so the next time that your hands are up here on your shoulders, we're going to take the elbows out to the sides without doing this. So we just got the elbows out to the sides. Drop your shoulders down to the floor. Tripods are on the floor, so your feet are nice and flat, and we're going to extend and bend the elbows without shifting the upper arms. Oh, sorry, I didn't have you guys check for distance there. My apologies. Good, and you're breathing, right? Everybody's breathing? More than just the minimum? Yeah, maybe. Next time you have your hands on your shoulders, we're going to stay here, and let's just extend the right and then the left as the right comes in. So we're just going back and forth, right? And again, this is just the elbow that's moving, right? Maybe a little bit of the wrist, but the primary mover here is the elbow. Good. Okay. And then bring everybody back into the shoulders, and we're going to bring the arms out to the sides with the palms facing behind. So that's like a scarecrow position, right? Kind of like a scarecrow position. Drop your shoulders down, right? So your arms can be even way down here if this is too much. And what we're going to do here is just extend and bend and bring the hands way in. So we're going to do that full range of movement, going out and coming all the way in. And try to do this without moving those upper arms up and down too much. In other words, we don't want to be doing this movement, right? We want to keep those upper arms as stable as we can. Again, breathing in, breathing out. We've got a lot of elbow work going on, but those shoulders are saying, hey, wait a second, this feels like a lot of work for me. Good. Couple more. Great. Excellent. Next time your arms are out to the side, we're going to hold here. We're going to bring them all the way behind and see if you can clap your hands behind you. Right? The chair gets in the way. Thank God, right? Yeah. Let's try that again. Come behind, just kind of tap on the chair if you can get back there, and relax. And tap on the chair back there. Good. Notice if your neck is starting to get tense if you're doing this. See if you can pull the chin in a little bit. Just a couple more, you guys. You're doing great. We got a lot going on here. How about one more? Just one more. Good. And then let the arms hang down by your sides. Holy smokes. Close your eyes. Take a couple of breaths and feel, right? So we've worked the fingers, the wrists, the elbows. We did some shoulder work. We did some neck work. We're going to do a little bit of stretching here for the shoulder. So let your eyes open. Take your right arm, bring it across your body to the left. Let's give that shoulder a nice stretch. Turn and look out over the right shoulder. As you turn and look out over your right shoulder, see if you can get your chin onto your shoulder. So you're trying to pull your chin down onto that right shoulder. And breathe in and breathe out. Next exhale, you're going to release your head, release your arm, and we're going to take the left arm, bring it over to the right. Same thing, we're just pulling that arm over to the right, turn and look out over the left shoulder and see if you can bring your chin to your left shoulder. It's like you're resting your chin on the shoulder there. Nice deep breaths. Good. And then bring your head back to center. Release that arm. We're going to take the right arm now behind the back. So sweep it back there. Take your left hand, grab hold of your right hand. So you're kind of like that behind you. If you can get to your wrist, that's good. Try not to lean forward to do this. See if you can sit up nice and tall as you're doing it. And you're just going to pull that arm over to the left a little bit. And let's see if we can drop the left ear to the left shoulder. And we're just going to hang out here and breathe a little bit. So it's kind of a twofer. We're getting a bit of the neck stretch in here, but we're really focusing on stretching that shoulder a little bit. So we'll just take a couple more breaths. Bring your head back up, and now let's just switch. Slide your left arm over to the right, and then holding onto your left hand with your right, you're just kind of pulling it over. So again, you're like that behind you. Try not to twist your body or lean forward. See if you can keep your body upright as you do this. And now we're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder and just hang out here. So we're just hanging out here, getting a stretch for the shoulder, getting a stretch for the neck. Because it's sometimes hard to figure out where the neck ends and the shoulder starts, because they kind of weave together up there in that upper part of your body. Good. One more deep breath in and out. And then bring your head back, release your arms, bring your hands to your lap. Let's roll the shoulders a couple times. So hopefully the shoulders are feeling a little bit better at this point. So we're just going to relax the upper body now. We're going to do some work for the lower body. So if you want to scoot over to the right side of your chair a little bit, and just kind of hold on to your chair with your left hand. We're just going to take that right knee and drop it in and out. So you need to have the foot far enough away from the left that you can do this little in and out. And notice what feels easier for you, going in or going out, right? And if you need to shift your position on your chair a little bit, whatever works for you. Okay. And then let's bring the knee back to sort of a neutral position, and we're going to use the heel and toes. Walk that foot out and then walk the foot back. So we're just walking out and walking back. Good, good, good. Couple more. Walking the foot out, walking the foot back. Great. And the next time you walk the foot out, I'm going to have you stay there. Make sure your foot is under your knee. In other words, you don't want to be way out here, and you don't want to be way in here. You want to be somewhere in the vicinity of your knee. And then focusing on the muscles in the side of your hip and in your glutes, you're going to pull your knee as strongly as you can toward the back wall, and then relax it. So pull the knee toward the back wall, and release and breathe. So you're pulling the knee, you're engaging those muscles. See if you can figure out as you're engaging, see if you can put your mind into your hip. See if you can feel what's happening in the hip there. Those little muscles, or those big muscles. They're big muscles. Some of the biggest ones in your body, actually. Your glutes are they're probably the biggest muscle. They are. They're the biggest muscles in your body. Good. How about one more time we do that and we hold and breathe, right? So we're actively engaging those glute muscles. We're engaging the muscles on the side of the hip there. We're pulling that knee toward the back wall, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your neck, relaxing your shoulders, breathing in and breathing out. And then release that. Good. Let's walk that foot in. And at the same time, we're going to turn all the way to the left. We're going to take this right leg and we're going to slide it back. So hold on to your chair, please, with your hand, just so you don't go crashing onto the floor. And what we're going to do here, if this leg is kind of getting caught in the chair, you're going to scoot your body close to the edge of the chair so that this right side kind of hangs off a little more. And then see how far back you can get your foot, right? So some people are going to be able to slide that foot way back. For some people, it's going to be a little too much, so you're just going to keep that knee bent with the knee directly under the hip. Sit up nice and tall. Breathe in, breathe out. There we go, yeah. So as you're sitting up nice and tall, as you're inhaling and exhaling, and you're pushing out through that back leg, can you engage your glutes on the right side? So can you squeeze your butt muscles there on that right side? Inhale, exhale. And then release. And one more time, we're going to do that. Extend. Keep breathing in, breathing out. And release. Excellent. So lean into the back of your chair a little bit, slide your foot forward, and we're going to go all the way over to the left side of the chair. So we're sliding across the chair again, and we're just going in and out now with that left knee. So now with the left knee. So you can hold on to the right side of your chair. Breathe in, breathe out. Yeah. All right. Okay, and then let's take that foot, we're going to walk it out and walk it back and walk it out and back, and keep breathing as you're doing this. So notice if it's different on this side. Do you have more ability to go open with that knee and that hip, or do you have less ability? Or is it about the same? So for most of us, we're going to notice a bit of a difference from side to side. And if you've had hip surgery, or if you've had some knee surgery, you might notice a difference there as well. Next time your foot is way out, so the knee is reaching toward the kitchen, right? Knee is reaching toward the kitchen. You're going to engage the muscles here in the side of this left hip and pull that knee toward the back wall and release. So you want to have your foot right under your knee. Don't have your foot way out here. We're going to pull that in a little bit. Breathe in and breathe out as you pull and release. And pull and release. So we're just trying to get those muscles a little activated here. Get them used to doing this movement, right? Keep the foot on the floor, so you don't want to lift your heel up. You want to keep your foot on the floor as you're doing this. Good. Yeah. Because when you lift your foot, what's happened is you're not stretching the muscles here in the inner thigh, and that's where we're really going. Next time you pull that knee toward the back wall, you're going to hold there and breathe. And keep breathing. And feel what's activating there. Relax that a little bit. We're going to do that one more time. And again, I'm going to have you put your mind in your hip if you can. Just kind of bring your mind into your hip, your awareness into your hip. As you engage the muscles and pull your knee toward the back wall, can you sort of identify where, or which muscles, or the general area, the neighborhood that is engaging here? Good. And then release that. Excellent. So now we're just going to walk that foot in, and we're going to do a turn over to the right side. Once again, keep that left butt cheek kind of off the chair. We're going to take the left leg, extend it out behind. So some people are going to get that leg extended with the knee bent. That's fine. Some people are going to get the knee a little bit straighter out there. That's okay. So breathing in and out, we're just going to push that foot back and then release a little bit. And push the foot back and release and keep breathing here. So we're just getting those muscles kind of going. And again, if you've got something happening with your hip, you want to pay attention to that. If it's just uncomfortable, you're going to want to try this, right? If it's painful, then we might not want to go quite so far. So one more time, we're going to hold this time. So we're really out there, and I want you to squeeze the glutes on this side. So the big muscle in your bum, you want to squeeze that muscle right there on that side. Inhale and exhale. Excellent. One more breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to relax your leg, lean into the back of your chair, slide your foot forward, come all the way back to the center of your chair. Let's bring the feet wider than the hips, and we're just going to go in and out a few times with the knees. In and out a few times with the knees. All right. And now you're going to slide back in your chair all the way until your low back is right up against the chair. Okay. And we're going to do a little bit of knee work now. So we work the hips. We're going to go right down to the knees. So let's extend the right leg. So that means straightening the leg, right? Bring your toenails toward your shin. And then we're going to bend that and extend the left, right? So if you can, when you bend the other knee, put that foot on the floor or tap it. Bring it right down. Like If your whole foot can get on the floor, great. If you can only reach your toes, or if your toes just graze the floor, just kind of do that. So we're just going back and forth nice and slow. It's a little bit of a march here, right? A little bit. Notice if one leg feels different when you extend it than the other. And again, thinking about folks who've had knee issues, whether you've had surgery or not, but just having knee issues, you might be able to really feel that. So the next time you have your right leg extended, I'm going to have you hold there and really squeeze those thigh muscles. Can you feel the thigh muscles right above the knee? Can you really feel those nice and strong? Keep those thigh muscles strong, and we're going to point and flex the foot. So we're keeping the thigh muscles strong, and we're pointing and flexing the foot. And you can lean into the back of your chair. You can even kind of pull yourself back a little bit if you need some support for your back, right? Just keep breathing. Try not to hold your breath. Good. And then we're going to relax that leg, let it come all the way down. We're going to put the toes or the foot on the floor, and then take the other leg, extend it up, toenails toward the shin. And then once again, bringing your mind, your focus, into this thigh. See if you can keep that thigh nice and strong as you point and flex this foot, right? So the thigh stays strong, and you're pointing and flexing the foot. Ooh, that's nice. I like that. Ooh, another one. Good. Okay. And then we're going to relax that, bring that leg down. So now we've got both knees bent. Now we're going to take the left ankle and cross it on top of the right knee, ankle. Yes, same anatomy. Okay, so left ankle on top of right ankle. So I think we did this last week. So you want to keep your left leg completely relaxed. This is the hardest part. Relaxing is the hardest part of any movement, just allowing one body part to not have to work. So we're just going to keep that left leg relaxed, and we're going to engage the muscles here in the right leg as we straighten the leg, and we're lifting that left leg. So we're doing a little weightlifting here, and then you're just slowly bending and bringing that leg down, right? So you're going to extend and hold that up there, so squeeze those right thigh muscles, relax that left, and then really slowly lower down. Try not to help your right leg by using your left leg. And I'm saying that and I'm thinking, but I'm not doing that either. Because my left leg is saying, I'm not supposed to just be kind of hanging out here. What's going on? Right? It's hard to do. It's very hard to work on one side and just say, okay, that's going to really activate and engage, and the other side's totally relaxed. Good. Keep breathing. So it's good to do these long arc lifts with the leg. How about one more? We're going to hold it up there. Hold, 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 and breathe. And then slowly release. Good, good. Uncross, recross the other way. So now you've got right ankle on top of left. Go into the mind of the right leg. Just say, okay, you get to relax this time. You don't have to do any work. It's going to be the left leg that's doing all the work. So let's see if we can do that, right? So we're extending that left leg and then slowly bending. And I can feel my right leg is helping. Right? So see if we can convince your right leg, just kind of go inside and go, okay, right leg, just take a chill here. You're just relaxing while the left is doing all the work. So the nice thing about this, when we can get to the point where we can let that other leg relax, is you're actually doing some weightlifting for this leg. You're doing some loaded work here instead of just bending and extending the knee. So we're going to build a little more strength in that leg, which is what we really are after. Right? So a couple more. Lift and then lower all the way down. You want to bend all the way. You got to go all the way down. Yeah. We want to, when we're doing any kind of strengthening exercise. How about one more? Or else I'll just talk and we'll do 50 more. So relax that. Okay, so relax your legs. So anytime you're doing a strengthening exercise, no matter what body part it is, you need to go through the entire range of movement that's available at the joint. So for instance, if I'm going to work on my biceps muscles, if I just go from here to here, I'm not getting as much strength as I would if I go all the way to my shoulder and then all the way down, right? So in order to build strength, I want to go all the way to the shoulder and all the way down. Now, some of you maybe have done a little bit of weight training and you do an exercise where you come up halfway, you come up another halfway, and then you do the full range. That's very targeted, but I'm talking about building strength in muscles. Same thing with your legs. So if we're going to build strength in the legs, I have to go from a bent position to an extended position. I can't just kind of go halfway, right? I got to go all the way down and all the way up. That's going to give me more strength in the legs. So just kind of a little bit of a note. So slide forward. Good. All right. So from this forward position, we're going to take that right leg, extend it out, right? And let's just point and flex the foot. So you can tap your toes, then tap your heel, or you can keep your heel on the floor and just kind of do it that way. All right. And then we'll circle the ankle and circle the other way. Okay, and bring that foot to the floor. Let's go to the other side. So left heel on the floor, and then we point and flex. Keep the knee straight. And breathe as you're doing this. So don't hold your breath. And circle, circle, circle. And circle around the other way. Good. And then bring that foot back down to the floor. So now we're going to extend the right leg. Keep your left foot underneath your left knee. Bring your hands to your left thigh. You can do a little bit of a stretch here. So you're pulling your right toenails toward your right shin. Your leg is nice and straight. If you need a little bit of a bend, you can do that. So if when we're doing this stretch, you feel it directly behind the knee, give a tiny little bend. If you're feeling it in the lower leg or in the upper leg or in the outer part of the knee, it's fine. Keep your leg straight. And then we're going to come forward like you're bringing your navel down onto your thigh. And then come all the way back. That's the whole movement, right? So toenails are reaching toward the shin. We're coming forward and we're coming back. So you can use your hands on your thigh to give a little support. The thing I like about the hands on the thigh, if you push into your thigh on the way up, you're actually building some strength in the upper body because you're using your upper body, your shoulders and your arms to push yourself back up. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, good. Everybody's doing great. Next time you come forward, you're going to stay here. Keep breathing. Keep that leg nice and straight. So we want to really feel that in the back of the leg. If it's possible, take your right hand and slide it down to your knee, down to your shin, maybe closer to your ankle or your foot even. Some people might be able to reach down and get that big toe or maybe one of the toes. Not a requirement. Not a requirement. Just giving options here. So middle of the shin is just fine, by the way. Middle of the shin is just fine. So it's wherever you're feeling it, right? So if you're rounding through your spine, see if you can get your spine nice and straight here as you come forward. Right? And then push into your hand on that left side, and we're going to come all the way up. Hoo-wee. Let's bend that knee, straighten the other one. So this time the right foot is underneath the right knee. Left leg is extended, so you can feel the muscles here in the thigh. Toenails are reaching toward your shin. Both hands on the right thigh. Now when you come forward, again, I want you to focus on not rounding when you come forward. I want you to focus on keeping your back nice and flat as you come forward, like you're bringing your belly button onto your thigh and then back up. That's it. So we're just kind of rocking forward and rocking back a little bit. Rocking forward and rocking back, breathing in, breathing out, right? Doesn't matter when. So you don't have to breathe out when you come forward and breathe in when you come back. Whatever is a nice steady flow in your body. That's really what it's about, because that's how your nervous system responds. If your breath is smooth, regardless of when you inhale and exhale, your nervous system responds to that by saying, oh, everything's cool, we're fine. But if you start trying to change up your breath, you make it too fast, too slow, too whatever, your nervous system responds by saying, hey, something is up. So the next time you're forward, we're going to hang out here. Keep that back nice and flat. Now try not to round through your spine. And keep your right hand on your thigh. Take your left hand down your left leg. So we don't want to compromise. Like if I can reach my toe if I do this, but I want to keep my back flat, so I'm not going to get quite so far down. The reason for this is because we're trying to stretch the back of the body. We're trying to stretch the back of the leg into the hip and even into the back, the lower back, sorry. So we're reaching down as far as you can. So some people are going to be able to reach their toes. Good for you. That's great. Some of us are going to reach our shins. Good for us. That's great too. We're breathing in, breathing out. Keep the knee straight. Now, if you're bending your knee so that you can reach your toe, you're not getting what you need. Keep breathing. All right, and then we're going to push into that right hand and come all the way up. Bend that knee. Bring that foot to the floor. Let's just kind of tap the feet a little bit here. Excellent. All right, let's take the right ankle and cross it on top of the left knee. So for anybody who is just not comfortable doing that, you can do ankle on top of ankle, but I'll encourage ankle on top of knee. We're going to lift that knee up toward the chin and keep the chin lifting away from the knee. Got it? So you're keeping your chin lifted away from the knee, and now we're going to pull the knee down toward the floor. Right? So we're going to lift the knee up to the chin and then lower the knee down. So we're not rocking in the chair. We're not doing this. We're sitting straight up. Both sitting bones are on the chair, and we're just going up and down, whatever amount that is. It might be like this. Right? This may be all I got in that hip is just this little movement up and down. I might be able to go way up and way down. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, because you're the one who's got the sensation in your hip, right? So we're just breathing in and breathing out as we do this. Getting to kind of that edge of discomfort. I always like to get to the edge of discomfort because that's where the magic happens, you guys. No evolution doesn't happen when we're comfortable. It only happens when we're uncomfortable. So I like living on that edge of discomfort. One more time, up and down. Great. And then relax that. Let's just slide the knee on top of the knee now. And relax your leg for a minute. And just kind of let the hip muscles relax a little bit in this position. Let's take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. And then we're just going to do a really gentle little twist here. Going out to the right. Good. Come back to center. Keep breathing. We're going to reverse now. Take your left ankle on top of your right knee. And again, you can do ankle on ankle if that's what works better for you. And just, I didn't say this on the other side, but just a note. Your big ankle bone on the outside, try and keep that on the inside of your leg. In other words, I don't know if you can see this, but you don't want that big ankle bone hanging over the outside of the right leg. You want to have it on the inside of the right leg. Just gives a little different leverage here for what we're doing. So we're going to lift up, and then we're going to lower down. Keep your body up nice and tall. Yep. We're not rocking the body. We're just lifting and lowering that knee. That's all. And you're not pushing with your hands, by the way. So just want to make sure nobody's like cranking on their knee here. So breathe in, breathe out. Right? Notice now on this side if you have more range or less range. Right? So for some people, there's going to be a real big difference. You're going to go, wow, that's pretty remarkable. how that is. So we're lifting and lowering and breathing. And again, it can be a tiny movement. Like this might be the entirety of your movement is like that. It might be even imperceptible. But it's whatever you've got available in that hip joint. And the joint, and when I say in the hip joint, I actually mean more than that. I mean all of the tissue that surrounds that hip joint, right? So the muscles on the inside of your thigh, on the outside of your thigh, on the back, on the front, deep muscles go deep into your belly. Those are all part of your hip. They're all part of what controls your hip. Okay. And then relax that. And we're going to slide this knee on top of this other knee. And we're just going to relax that leg a little bit here. Take your right hand to the outside of your knee and then just give a nice little twist here out to the left. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, come back to center. Excellent, uncross your legs. Bring those feet to the floor. Set your tripods. You know we have to do some toe work, right? Just a little. We don't have a lot of time, so we just do a little toe work. So let's just lift and lower all the toes. Lift and lower. Keep your tripods on the floor. So the tripods are the heel, the big toe knuckle, and the little toe knuckle. We're going to keep those 3 points on the floor as we lift and lower all the toes. And then the next time you lift, spread them out nice and wide. And let's play the piano, bringing one toe at a time down from the baby to the big one. And then lift from the big one back to the baby. And again, from the baby to the big one, lowering everybody down. And lifting from the big one to the baby. Okay, now this time you're going to play the piano starting with your big toe and then lowering all the way down. Ooh, that's different, right? And then lifting from the baby all the way up to the big. And one more time, big toe down and then all the little toes all the way down to the baby. And then lift all the way up. Excellent. Okay, keep all your toes lifted. Now we're just going to lift and lower the big guys. Just lift and lower the big guys. And when you lower the big guys down, see if you can push down into the floor. It's like there's a button there, right? So when you bring those big toes down, you're pushing into that toe button down there. If you're assisting, remember you're assisting by keeping your little toes lifted. You're not assisting by pushing your big toes down because we're trying to build the muscle that controls that big toe down. If you're assisting, you're going to be holding your little toes up while the big toe pushes down. Because some folks will push the big toe down, but that's kind of defeating the purpose of what we're doing. So then you're going to lift everybody up and we're going to lower and lift just the littles and not the big. And same thing, on the assist, you're just holding up the bigs. Good. This is great work to do when you're brushing your teeth. I love doing this at the sink.
Not while you're assisting.
Not while, no, right, yeah. Not while you're assisting. Okay, and then relax all that. Whew. All right, close your eyes for a moment. Feel your toes. So we kind of finish where we started, which is to feel your feet on the floor. Feel your heels, the big toe knuckles, the little toe knuckles. Feel the bottoms of your toes. Give a little press down into the floor. Not so much like you were trying to stand up, but just a little press to let your feet know that you're aware of them down there. And then notice your sitting bones. So coming back up to the ground point on your chair, right? So left sitting bone, right sitting bone. Are you leaning forward? Are you leaning backwards? Are you shifted to one side or to the other side? Or can you be kind of right in that middle spot? And then returning your focus to your breath as you breathe in, can you send breath, your imaginary breath now down to your sitting bones because your breath doesn't actually go all the way down there. And then come all the way out with the exhalation. So again, we're breathing in and driving that breath, that awareness of breath all the way to the sitting bones. And then breathing out, it's going from the sitting bones all the way out. And then shifting awareness and attention down into your feet. As you breathe in, can you send breath down into your toes? And as you breathe out, can you send the breath from your toes right to your nostrils? So it's this sense, this understanding of whole body breathing. So as you inhale, it's going from your nostrils all the way to your toes. And as you exhale, it's going from your toes all the way out through your nostrils. Breathing in, breathing out. From nostrils to toes on the inhale. From toes to nostrils on the exhale. And can you let your breath get a little slower? Let's take one more nice full deep breath in, let it out with a sigh. You can let your eyes open when that feels okay. So thank you everybody for coming today. I'll see some of you next week at 8:30 and some of you at 9:45. So we'll see how that all goes. All right. Have a good week.